Wednesday marks 100 years since the Queen Mother wed the future King George VI, a marriage that unknowingly marked the beginning of the royal family we see today. Prince Albert, Duke of York, married Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon at Westminster Abbey on April 26, 1923. The wedding was not the lavish royal affair befitting a future king and his queen consort because, at the time, nobody knew that he was to ascend to the throne. While George and Elizabeth are now known for their stoicism, remembered fondly for leading the country through World War II and forming a close-knit royal family, they once had a far less prominent role in the firm and, as a royal author discovered, led lives much freer of royal constraint. Get the latest royal news straight to your phone by joining our WhatsApp community. Sally Bedell-Smith, author of the recent book George VI and Elizabeth, The Marriage That Shaped the Monarchy, was a guest on an episode of the Today for Daily podcast earlier this month. She recalled the early days of Bertie and Elizabeth's marriage, noting their habits before becoming king and queen. "It was astonishing to me to read in the diaries that they were party animals," Ms. Bedell-Smith said. "They would go out dancing until 3 or 4 in the morning and she, Elizabeth, would say, fell asleep at 5 a.m. and got up for brekkie late." At the time, Ms. Bedell-Smith notes, both Bertie and Elizabeth shared close relationships with Prince Edward, then the heir to the throne and later King Edward VIII. The 8 biggest bombshells in new royal TV series as Harry deemed dispensable by Queen. A new ITVX documentary is jam-packed with new hair-raising claims and insights into how the royal family has operated for the past few decades. It includes how Prince Harry's life was seen as dispensable, whereas his older brother Prince William was to be more heavily protected. When Elizabeth and Bertie married, they had a good relationship with the then Prince of Wales, whom they called David, Ms. Bedell-Smith said, before revealing the 3 young royals would go out partying together. Bertie, who was the second son of King George V and Queen Mary, was the spare to heir Prince Edward and was never supposed to be crowned king. Both he and Elizabeth were perfectly happy with their lives in the shadow of Edward, who was first in line to the throne. As historian Andrew Loney, who authored Traitor King, told Express.co.uk, Bertie was happy to stay under the radar and the men remained close throughout the 20s. The Duke and Duchess of York, after their marriage in 1923, regularly visited David at his home Fort Belvedere in Windsor Great Park. However, as it is known now, Edward VIII abdicated the throne in December 1936, triggering his younger brother's accession and altering the course of the monarchy. From that point on, the relationship between the brothers was strained, and Queen Elizabeth was understood to hold a particular resentment for her brother-in-law, who had catapulted her into a life of service she had not previously prepared for. Nonetheless, the pair led the country as king and queen consort, serving from 1936 to 1952, the year of King George's death, upon which Elizabeth was styled as Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. She continued to play a prominent role in public life, earning her place as a beloved royal family member and maintaining her support for the monarchy by representing her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II. Don't miss. Poll: would you read Meghan's memoir? Poll: Prince Andrew likely to continue with honor roll at coronation. Insight: Len Goodman made heartbreaking confession to King Charles about family. Latest: and despite her increasing age, the Queen Mother's old habits did not subside. "She did like being a bit naughty," wrote Colin Burgess, who served as an equerry to the royal, in his 2017 book Behind Palace Doors. He continued, Life at Clarence House and her other residences followed a sedate routine, revolving largely around lunch and rather a lot of booze. She was far from being an alcoholic, but she loved social drinking and, of course, her life was very social. Of course, the social wheels were also lubricated by large amounts of alcohol. He recalled the Queen Mother's story about dancing with Fred Astaire and, with a glint in her eye, she'd say, "He was quite a good dancer, you know." The Queen Mother died on March 30, 2002, at the Royal Lodge on the Windsor Great Park Estate, with her eldest daughter at her side. At the time of her death at the grand age of 101 years and 238 days, she was the longest living member of the British royal family in history. In her obituary, in the Sydney Morning Herald, writer and commentator Grant Turner described the Queen Mother as the party girl to end all party girls.
To